whatever country the film was from, they had put a flag of that country just before that shot. So now just imagine all the other countries film shots are playing where there are like very beautiful shots and like fun things are happening, and then suddenly India's flag comes up, and after that you see kachra because the film is about kachra. Now I can't help it. Now I didn't know this was something that was going to happen.
Hello and welcome to the Desi Design Show, a podcast by Command Plus J, where we bring the fun back into design interviews and the Desi back into design. I am your host Anshuman Dhar, and every week I sit down with Indian designers to get real about their work, their life, and everything in between. Today on the show we have with us Nainisha, who is an exceptional filmmaker and storyteller. Nainisha, welcome to the show.
Hi Anshuman, thank you so much for having me here.
Yes, so for the people tuning in, some context about Nainisha, a graduate from the film and video communication branch from NID Ahmedabad. Her recent work, Dhummas, was one of India's official selections for the Oscars in the short film category. Several of her films over the years have won awards and have been screened at numerous prestigious film festivals like the Dharamshala International Film Festival and the VJIK International Film Festival. And she's currently working on her next project as an associate producer with Drishyam Films. Nanisha, I have been a huge fan of your work for a while now, and I'm so happy that you're here.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for all the appreciation. Though I'm not really sure if I've done enough work, but thank you.
Regardless, we're just very happy to have you on. And I was actually in my research for this episode, I was just going through like different like your socials as well, and I especially loved the like back in 2020. I think you had done this series of like a bunch of photos of like NID where you were just like
Yeah.
capturing like the essence of different places like the mess or the BBC, especially while it's raining, or like the road while walking towards Chai Gate. And I just want to like say I'm a huge fan of like just how beautiful those photos look, plus how well they captured the essence of it.
Yeah, so one thing about all of those photographs is I didn't really click them for Instagram.
Okay.
Those are the photographs I have collected through 4 years of me being at NID. It's just one random day I'll be walking to Chaigate and I'll see, oh, the light looks nice. Let's click a picture. I'll click a picture and then it'll sit in my gallery for years until when I feel like going back and uploading. So,
Mm-hmm. Nice.
yeah.
And what prompted like the spam? Like was it just like the general nostalgia, or like being having your graduation being like just washed all over by COVID?
Yeah, it's everything. It's everything because very frankly speaking, we got saved by like a week and a half's time. We had our convocation ceremony, and within 10 days, the entire country went into a lockdown. So yeah, it was just being extremely grateful for, getting that pre-pandemic convocation. That is one thing. And second,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, of course, nostalgia. Have lived on campus for 4 years, so you get attached to the space. Yeah.
Of course, that is very true. And coming to what I earlier mentioned about like the bunch of stuff which you have done, and you've gotten like you've given interviews about your work in newspapers and media, and you've just gotten a bunch of accolades. But I know this also exists in a lot of comparatively younger creatives. But do you ever have these moments where you still feel like an imposter, or like there's a lot left to be done?
All the time. All imposter syndrome is a constant in my life. I am not kidding. So all the time there is I don't think there has ever been a single project that I've worked on and I have not asked myself that is is what I'm doing fine? I mean, I don't know what I'm doing, but is what I'm doing, is that fine? Is that okay? But yeah, so imposter syndrome has been a constant, still is, and I don't think it's going away anywhere anytime soon.
Like I am going through this right now, so we always feel like our experience with imposter syndrome is quite unique, but still shared with a bunch of other people anyways. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, and the thing is, because of so many like news articles coming out, and because of Dumas just suddenly becoming a thing, it was extremely overwhelming. Because when I was making the film, I thought no one would understand the film because it is just a topic which is very close to me, and I made it because I wanted to explore a certain aspect of filmmaking.
Okay.
So I really didn't think that it would be understood, liked, and appreciated so much. So,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's I'm
yeah.
yeah. I was actually my next question was going to be that when you were working on it as a college project, did you ever think that it would get the amount of recognition that it ended up getting?
No, in fact, you know what? I'll tell you a very fun thing. I have not told anyone about this, but so the film that I made before Dumas, it's called Piranha, and it's my classroom project. It's a short documentary. So Piranha is one of those first projects like of mine which started getting like somewhat recognition in the festival space. So while making Dumas, I had this fear in me ki, what if Dumas doesn't even do as well as Piranha did,
Hmm. Okay.
because I made Piranha in 2 months. I'm making Dumas in 6 to 7 months. So the amount of time I'm investing in the film is higher. The amount, everything that is being invested in the film is much more higher. The stakes are higher. So yeah.
So wait, I actually had a question about Dhumas, and I remember one thing which like stuck out to me amongst the other stuff in the film was also the location. I wanted to ask you, how did you like go about finding the right location? And I read somewhere that you also had to like trek over a mountain to actually get there. So I just wanted to know what that whole experience was like.
Yeah, so the thing with the location was the when I was writing the film, I had written the house as a character. So for me, the house was not a space but a character. Since it's containing the two characters and it's not, it's like a boundary line for both my characters in the universe of the film. So I had written it as a way like I wanted very specific things in the house in terms of the kind of flooring and just in terms of the look and the feel, the weather, the nature that surrounds it. So like I was very specific because it needs to resonate the old lady's character in the film. It needs to be
Mm-hmm.
a mirror image or a reflection of the old lady's character.
Hmm.
And parallel to that, the younger one needs to stand out. It needs to look like it's not her space or it's not her surrounding, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
that's what her state of mind is.
Mm-hmm.
How I found the house is a very funny story because I was just pestering my parents, ask relatives if we have any houses, like any similar houses in the family that can be used, or just I was just trying to tap into all the resources I had.
Mm-hmm.
And one day, like my mom just came up with this, this house exists and it is owned by someone we know, and your dad could just reach out, just ask him for pictures. So my dad sent me pictures of that house. Now the pictures I got from him were from 2012. I am making this
Okay.
film in 2019,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm telling you 80% of the pictures were of what's broken in the house because they were trying to fix it. The
Yeah.
pictures are of कि ये टूटा है, वो टूटा है, roof टूटा है, this brick wall has fallen. So they're just, highlighting all the issues in the house.
Issues. Yeah.
Yeah, but it really struck with me. Like I just saw the front facing side of the house, which is facing a valley actually, and it really, I was like, I at least need to go see this space first.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
pictures to dekh liya, I need to see what it feels like, what is the atmosphere like. So I went to the place. Now, the house is called Fountain Lodge. Okay,
Okay.
and it is situated in Mathiran.
Hmm. Hmm.
Now, if you don't know about Mathiran, Mathiran is this hill station of Bombay where cars don't go. So up till a certain point, you can take a car, but after that point, you either hike up, you take the toy train till a certain point, or go horseback riding.
Hmm.
So these are the only three options. And toy train also takes you till a certain point, and after that you just have to walk. It's a very hilly terrain with a lot of red mud, and it's just not possible for a two-wheeler or a four-wheeler, or in fact even for a cycle to reach all
Mm-hmm.
the way
Mm-hmm.
like
Hmm.
to the
Hmm.
house.
Hmm.
So that terrain was one thing. Now I can reach my, I know my crew will reach, but I am going to cast an old lady in the film. I don't know who yet, but I am going to cast an, I don't know how she is going to reach. So that was the first question that was in my head when I was walking towards the house. Then I go see the house.
Mm-hmm.
There is a small fountain like set up in front of the house where you can sit and you can see the entire house in front of you.
Oh, okay.
So on one of my visits, I just went and I sat there and I just looked at the house and I
Mm-hmm.
was listening to music. This one song came up called Aaj Ke Naam from Heather.
Okay.
And coincidentally, that was also a reference song that I was using for the feel and the pace of Dhummas,
Okay.
in
Okay.
terms of what I want for
Yeah.
the actors to do, for the camera to do, and for the edit to do. It was a
Mm-hmm.
very well defined pace, and that song was it. That
Mm-hmm.
song just played, and there was wind, so leaves were rustling. There were
Oh,
singing birds, there were
beautiful.
crickets, and there was Aaj Ke Naam playing. This is when I was convinced, that's it. I am shooting here. I will make it happen however
Yeah.
I have to, because the house has a lot of issues in general. No one's lived in the house for 70, 80 years.
Oh my
So,
God. Okay.
so it is just like the beds have termites and the roof is broken, the bathroom is not functional. So,
Mm-hmm.
just decided on that day that that's it. I'm shooting here. I will figure it out.
And it
Yeah.
was interesting that when you brought up the point of like just trying to like ask around amongst your relatives कि अच्छा कोई घर मिलेगा क्या ऐसा. So because I also noticed that on your Behance you had mentioned like on a lot of your films the budget, and I just wanted to understand like how it how Jugaad works when you're working with like financial constraints where you have a vision, you're someone who's very stubborn and you want something to look a certain way, but you also may or may not have all the resources to fulfill that.
Yeah, no, the thing is, it's a student film, yeah. So there is only so much you can do. I mean, what budget I had. So I got a scholarship from NID.
Okay.
I got the Ford Foundation grant. So it's not like I had no budget at all. I had somewhat of a budget, but that is still not enough.
Yeah.
Money is never enough. So money is just never enough when it comes to making films. But matlab, it makes it interesting na. If my film is visually appealing,
Yeah.
it makes you want to watch it. Even
Of
though that,
course.
yeah, even though that might not be the primary aspect of the film, it's just an added thing.
Of
So,
course. Definitely. And I think as a filmmaker, you also have to consider all of those things because, sure, your story might be great, the message you're sending out also might be great, but if it doesn't reach that many people, then are you really doing your job right? And I mean, you mentioned the distinction between like classroom projects and graduation projects, and I wanted to touch upon another one of your classroom projects. You already know which one this is going to be. And I wanted to know, like, for Piranha, when you were doing all the shooting, what was it like shooting, like going and shooting in the whole garbage dump and like just surrounded by all.
yeah, it was a major reality check for me because I'm telling you, I didn't wear a mask when I went to the landfill.
Oh, oh no, okay.
Because the thing is, if you wear a mask, people are not going to be forthcoming in terms of talking to you, right? And because you are creating a boundary, and that is something I didn't want to do. They are not wearing gloves while picking up trash,
Mm-hmm.
and which is why I didn't want to put on a mask. So I didn't, and it was fun, yeah. Now that I look back, it was fun. In the moment, I don't know, I just went for it. Like it was just a gut feeling, and I went for it because the way I entered into the landfill was also very funny. If you watch Piranha,
Okay.
the very first
Yeah.
shot in the film is a hole in the wall. That's how I
Mm-hmm.
used to go to the landfill, through that hole in the wall. That was my
Oh,
point of
okay.
entry. Yes. So, and I have spent hours at the landfill. I have seen the sunset from the landfill. I have gone up. I have trekked up. I have gone up in a garbage truck. I have come back with my shoes, my clothes, my watch strap smelling of waste. Taking 2 to 3 baths because it's just everywhere. The smell is just everywhere. And if you're there for, say, 6 hours, 5 hours,
Yeah.
the smell is going to latch on to you, right?
Yeah, of course.
So it was an adventure. I would definitely want to call it an adventure and a major reality check because when you look at it from far, you're like, okay, it looks like a huge landfill, but when you're standing
Mm-hmm.
on top of the landfill and looking down is when you
Mm-hmm.
realize how huge that landfill is. Because if you see the edges of the landfill, they merge with the skyline of the city, and that for me is very scary to look at. It is extremely scary.
It's like a very dystopian भी क्या है, but like it's a very like it reminds me of the experiences people say when they go to the Grand Canyon, when they see such a huge like just this shift in like perspective, because you feel small in front of such huge mountains of like
Yeah,
just something
yeah.
else in front of you. And so like one thing earlier also which you were talking about, where when you were talking about when you look at Dhumas now, you think of all the flaws which are there in it. And in general as creatives we always do this, where we look at our old work and we're just like, why did I do this here? I could have done this better this way. And we have a segment in our show which we call Classroom Review, where we basically ask our guests to share some of their earliest work, and we just walk them through, like they walk us through what was going on in their mind, what they would have done differently, etc., etc. And yeah, I will play that video right now, and then we can move on to that like move on to talking after that.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite projects, design projects that I have worked on. Because this is the only one in which I don't see any flaws. So it just every time I watch it, it is just a very satisfying feeling to watch it. Because I mean, see, technical flaws are something that will exist in this because it was my very first project. But concept wise, this is exactly what I had thought and envisioned in my head when I was like writing this or when I was making this. So it gives this shut up just gives me immense satisfaction. It's just, yeah.
It's so cool.
So
And
it was yeah, one hell of a ride to make this because I remember, so the person you see in the video in the PSA, that's Debjyoti.
oh,
I don't know if you guys know of Debjyoti, but yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, so that is Devjyoti. I was looking for someone who can dance. Okay, because
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
don't find mimes in a campus situation, right?
Yeah,
So on campus and it's a mimes are not an Indian thing. So
exactly.
you won't find a mime. So I was looking for someone who can dance so that that person can replicate a mime because a lot of expressive eyes and expressive gestures are required. I will just start from the start.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We were supposed to come up with a PSA idea on noise pollution.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I didn't want to do was I didn't want to visually show noise pollution because we see it
Mm.
every day. So yeah, so it was the idea was to show a contrast image and not to go for showing or visually or in sound noise
Mm-hmm.
pollution at all. So
Got it.
I wanted to just, this is a silent experience and I wanted it to be one.
That's so cool. I mean, this is the opposite of what generally happens that people come on with the first project, and it's so cool to see that the first project which you did end up doing was executed perfectly according to what you wanted to do. That's
Yeah, I mean, it has its own technical issues. The way we shot it was so in on our campus, I'll tell you, looking at it, you won't realize, but
okay.
on our campus, we have this space called the amphitheater. So on the amphitheater, I had two people holding a black cloth, देवज्योति के
Oh my
पीछे.
God.
हाँ,
Okay.
ये एक लाइट, वन सोलर लाइट लगा के शूट किया है हम लोगों ने, विथ टू पीपल कॉन्स्टेंटली होल्डिंग अ ब्लैक क्लॉथ at the back. And you know what was happening? The paint was now peeling off because of the light and all. He's sweating. So even if it's acrylic, it starts peeling off. So I had one of my friend on backup doing touch up. हर हर एक दो शॉट के बाद डूइंग टच अप, बिकॉज वो दिखेगा ना कंटिन्यूटी.
Hmm.
कंटिन्यूटी तो छोड़ो, वो तो एनीवेज है नहीं, बट वो
हाँ
दिखेगा
हाँ.
ना इफ समथिंग
Correct.
कम्स ऑफ.
Hmm. Hmm.
So oh god, it was a it was a big nightmare to shoot it. And the other thing is, because it's a classroom project, there are certain hours that you'll get the equipment for.
Hmm. Okay.
So उसमें ना, they don't account for night time a lot. Like it's mostly the day, and then ऐसे 11 बजे तुम return कर दो equipment.
Okay.
So to get uh, Ahmedabad summer time में to get, you have to wait for the sun to set to get enough amount of darkness to shoot this. Oh god, dude, oh god, it was a big mess. It's just that all of this activity now
Yeah.
happened outside the frame.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank god for that. Then none of these activities are like show inside of the frame. All of it happened outside of the frame. So
Nice.
yeah.
Good. Nice one. All right. Thank you so much for sharing this with us as well. And yeah, I want to kind of move more into like questions about you and just like your experiences and other things which you've done. And I want to start with like the time you spent at Exchange. And I wanted to like start from like what you felt was different about the Indian film scene as compared to like the rest of the world. Because I don't know if this is just me reaching, or like feel like I saw a little bit of a shift in your work when you came back, where you were more like into like more like I don't know, just a little more somber or like dark undertones there in your work. So I just wanted to know if that was related at all, or what your thoughts are.
The dark undertone was more of life happening to me and not
Okay.
exchange.
Okay.
But
Okay.
like one thing I really appreciate about the aspect of storytelling when it comes to filmmaking that exists in NID, which is a little stronger. Like we give the story part of things extra attention, which is nice. Because when I was on exchange, uh, I felt that, sometimes you get too technologically driven and you don't want to explore the story aspect of things. You're telling surface level stories.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, and I mean, that is a type or a kind of filmmaking, but that's not my kind, and that's not the kind I completely enjoy. So, and also, like, their stories are very different. I went to
Hmm.
Australia for exchange.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
it's a first world country.
Yeah.
Uh, so I mean, I understand where they come from, and because the fun part was I realized how seriously these guys take production in Cult Kidney. Like by production I mean art.
All
Like
right. Okay.
in Cult Kidney we had someone who replicated a real kidney, like made a real kidney out of unreal things, like out of artificial things, and made fake blood and make made intestines. And I was just really taken by the whole importance of art department when I was working on Cult Kidney. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I think that difference also comes in where like where you started off your answer with, where like you're just like Australia, it's a first world country. So there's gonna be a lot more like emphasis on like getting these things very accurate, and people just go off on, even if you know like with films like Midsommar and all, where they spend so much time on the food because it's always hot and
Yeah. So
okay.
it is because of that. And which is also why Dhummas looks like this. Because I realized कि no, production is important. And sound and visuals are equally important. And
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
that's the thing, na, if we are, if we are thinking about background scores, and if we are thinking about themes for characters, and if we are thinking about using sound differently, what makes my visual? But the art and the production makes my visual, right? Apart from the actor and their acting
mm-hmm.
and the lighting, it
Yeah,
it is the objects that convey. Because if I am staying on a frame for a really long time, my viewer is going to look around.
for sure. Yeah.
So the other things in the frame matter. I can say a lot of things from those, like by placing other things in the frame.
Mm-hmm. And I think that also kind of
So
adds to the vibe of the thing, right? When you're imagining what you're gonna have, if you're having the pacing to be something where you're having frames which are staying on for a longer time, then you would want to pay attention to every small nook and cranny, or like everything. Nothing should just be lying in places. It should be thoughtful and like thought out.
true, but the
Mm-hmm.
importance of this is what the
Of
importance of
course.
art is.
Makes sense. And I wanted to kind of ask another thing, which was like, in all the different film festivals you've gone to, have there, or in general, even like at NID, like, has there ever been a situation where you've been put on the spot by a question from a jury or like the audience or whatever, and you just had to like, you just improvise something on the spot and just like got out of it?
See, not improvised, but there was a very funny thing that happened with me at this film festival in Russia called VGIK.
Okay.
I had gone there with my film called Piranha.
Yeah.
Now, in the opening ceremony, na, when what they did was they had made a supercut of like few shots from all the films,
Mm-hmm.
and whatever country the film was from, they had put a flag of that country just before that shot. So
Okay.
now just imagine all the other countries film shots are playing where there are like very beautiful shots, and
Yeah.
like fun things are happening, and then suddenly India's flag comes up, and after that you see kachra.
Yeah.
Because the film is about kachra, now I can't help it. Now I didn't know this was something that was going to happen.
Yeah.
So this happened, and then the film, and then after that, like 2 3 days later, according to their screening schedule, the film was screened. And one of question from not from the jury but from the audience. The question goes somewhat like, how do you feel? You know, representing India, where Bollywood comes from, where they are known for singing and dancing, in the film
Yeah.
you've brought in here is a film on trash, on
Yeah.
garbage. So what do you think about that? Because just because Bollywood and that word was used, like Bollywood word was used, and singing, dancing,
Okay, okay.
happy colors, bright colors, and all those words were used. And I was just like, Hindi film industry is just one part of the entire country. And
Yeah.
the reason why films look like that is because that is commercial cinema. Money is a big aspect. And in fact, while shooting the film, because the sunset and all was so beautiful and it looked so brilliant at the landfill, I was just trying to figure out how to not make it look so beautiful. And even on the edit table, there were a lot of shots I rejected because it just looked too good to be a part of the documentary.
Wow.
So yeah, but I didn't have an answer for the person, frankly, because my only take was that this comparison is just it just doesn't fit well in my head. Because
Absurd.
this is a student film, that is commercial cinema, and that is one part of an entire country. It is not the entire country. Like so
I mean, that was super fun tangent we went off on. But we are nearing the end of the show. But we have a recurring segment which we lovingly call, drumroll please, 2 minute mein hot takes. And 2 minute mein hot takes is a rapid fire round which almost always goes a little over 2 minutes. But the main idea is this, that I'm gonna shoot a bunch of questions at you and you answer with the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay, are you ready?
oof. Okay,
Yes.
I think I'm ready.
Let's go. All right. Two filmmakers who have influenced you.
Vikramaditya Motwane and Yargos Lanthimos.
All right. What was the last film you watched?
Wow. I don't Sher Shah, but I didn't want to say that, but I said it there.
All right, cool. Who is an actor who you would love to work with?
Kongana Sen Sharma.
On ground work of the film or the thinking slash like on paper work?
I love pre-prod and I love being on a set. I'm sorry you can't take me away from a set. So
Is there a superstition which you secretly believe in?
I don't watch film trailers because I have realized that every time I watch a trailer, if I like the trailer, I don't like the film, and if I don't like the trailer, I judge the film too quickly, and then I end up loving the film.
If you go to NID today, what would be the first three things you would do?
What would be the first three things that I do? Oh my
Yeah.
God. Uh, One, though, I would want to go sit at Chai Gate, but Chai Gate is shut. Uh, Second is I would want to go lie down at the Eames and just look at the starlings
Yeah.
in the evening sky. And the third thing is I would probably want to go to the KMC because now I realize how much how important the library was. So because I don't have it anymore, I just realized the importance of it. So yeah.
All right. Spiral staircase or Audi staircase?
Spiral staircase any day, any single day. I
All
have
right.
fallen down the Audi staircase, dude. No, that is not
Oh
happening.
no,
So
trauma.
spiral staircase.
Fair enough. All right, last question. If you weren't a filmmaker, what would you be?
I don't know. I can't do anything else. See, like I don't know how to answer this question, but maybe a
Okay,
lawyer.
maybe a lawyer. Fair enough. All
Yeah.
right. All right, that is the wrap on the rapid fire round. Just the last question before we wrap up the show. Nanisha, if you could tell anyone who's watching this just one thing, what would that be?
I don't want to come off as preachy, but be wary of distractions in life, especially when you're just starting off your career. Like I also still am starting off my career. I haven't really started off, but I have realized one thing that if you give in too easily to distractions at any point, at least in the very beginning, then getting back to work or what you love doing becomes very difficult, and you don't realize that in the moment. So yeah, I mean, just uh, have fun. I'm not saying no, to not have fun. I have a lot of fun. Just you need to know where to draw the
All
line.
right, this has been amazing. Nanisha, where can people find you if they want to find out more about you?
Well, they can check out my Instagram page. It's
Mhm.
called, you can look me up at Honest Pretender. And if not Instagram, then you can find me on Facebook and LinkedIn at Nanisha.
All right. I will also be linking these things down in the description of the episode. And you can find us at Command plus J, spelled CMD plus J, on Instagram and Twitter. It has been a true pleasure having you on and just like watching you like either nerd out about things like why art matters so much or just go on and on about the small things which are coming back as withdrawal symptoms or from not being on a set or just like stories about Thomas. Thank you so much for sharing all these things with us. It has been a true pleasure to hear them. All right, bye bye.